Greetings, everyone. And I'm sorry I didn't post a video yesterday. I I was just really busy yesterday. I had to go to the doctor to get someone to go look at my right ankle and so on and so forth. So yeah, but anyway, so that means you'll be getting two videos today instead of just one. So there you go. But anyway, so Young Adult April now continues on with a look at the film adaptation of Divergent. In a future dystopian Chicago, society is divided into five factions: abnegation, the selfless; amity, the peaceful; candor, the honest; dauntless, the brave; and erudite, the intellectual. The remaining population, the factionless, have no status or privilege. Upon turning 16, children undergo serum-induced psychological aptitude test, which indicates the best suited faction, but can choose any faction as their permanent group at the subsequent choosing ceremony. Beatrice Pryor was born to abnegation, which runs the government. Her father Andrew serves on the ruling council along with abnegation's leader Marcus Eden. After test results show equal attributes of multiple factions, abnegation, erudite, and dauntless, marking her as divergent, her proctor, Tori Wu, a dauntless woman, records the results as abnegation, warns her to conceal true results, and says that because divergents can think independently and send sinuous serums injected into them, the government feels they threaten the existing social order. The next day, at the choosing ceremony, Beatrice's brother Caleb chooses erudite, while, after some hesitation, she chooses dauntless. Afterwards, she meets Christina, Al, and Will. Three of their faction transfers to dauntless. Christina and Al are from candor, and Will is from erudite. Eric Holter, a brooded dauntless leader, reminds the initiates that anyone not meeting the faction's high expectations of commitment and fearlessness will become factionless. Beatrice volunteers to jump from a tall building into a dark hole and lands into a net. When a transfer initiate's instructor asks her name, she shortens it to Triss, shedding her earlier identity. Triss initially struggles in dauntless training and ranks far below the cutoff after the first evaluation, but with Forrest's help, she slowly improves. Eric matches her against her nemesis, Candor transfer Peter Hayes, in a fight, who soundly defeats her. Unwilling to miss the most important test, capture the flag, she leaves the infirmary, joins the other initiates, secures her team's victory, and makes the final cut. In the next phase of training, the initiates face their worst fears in psychological simulations. Triss's divergence allows her to creatively solve the tests before her warns her to hide her abilities and to solve them as a normal dauntless would, as divergence can also manipulate tests and serums. Triss visits Caleb, who tells her the erudite plans to overthrow abnegation. When she returns, Al, Peter, and their fellow candor transfer Drew attack her before Four rescues her. The next day, Al begs Triss to forgive him, but she refuses and calls him a coward. He later kills himself by jumping into the pit, rather than live with his shame. To prepare her for the final test, Ford takes Triss into his own fear simulations, where she learns he is Tobias Eden, and his father Marcus used to beat him as a child. Triss then passes her test and officially joins Dauntless. The other Dauntless are injected with the serum from erudite, supposedly for tracking but actually for mind control. The next morning, the Dauntless prepare to execute abnegation under erudite's orders. As the new serum fails on divergence, Triss must blend in to avoid suspicion. She finds Four, who identifies as Divergent. When the Dauntless move to raid abnegation, the pair separate from the group and attempt to locate her parents. But Eric, realizing Four is not under control, captures both of them, taking Four into custody and ordering Triss's execution. Her mother Natalie appears and saves her, but is shot and killed as they attempt to escape. Triss finds her father hiding with Caleb, Marcus, and several abnegation members. The group sneaks into Dauntless headquarters, where Triss encounters Peter and forces him to lead them to erudite's control center. Her father sacrifices himself in a shootout, and Triss goes in alone to find Four, now under stronger mind control designed for divergence. Knowing his fears, she manages to wake him from the mind control, and both enter the central control room, where erudite's leader, Janine Matthews, nearly has Dauntless execute the entire abnegation faction. Triss uses the sample of the mind control serum on her to force her to cancel the program. The group escapes the compound and boards a train out of the complex. So let's take a look at the pre-production of this. Productions of this movie beginning with pre-production. In March 2011, Seminar team had picked up the rights for Divergent with Douglas Wick and Lucy Fisher's production company Red Wagon Entertainment. Excuse me. Neil Berger was announced as the director on August 23, 2012. Evan Dodgery, who co-wrote the screenplay with Vanessa Taylor, said, "I get hung up on the toughness of the movie, but of equal importance is love story between Tris and Four. It's inherently and inextricably linked to Tris's character journey. There will be plenty of sexual tension and chemistry, but it's all important. But it's important that all that stuff just doesn't feel like it's thrown in, but that it all helps Tris grow as a character." Dodgery further added, "It's tricky because the book is a very packed read with a lot of big ideas. So distilling that to a cool, faithful 2-hour movie is challenging. Not only do you have to establish 5 factions, but you have to acknowledge that there's a 6th entity, which is the Divergent, and you also have the factionless. So there's a world that really has to be built up for the big screen. The movie's going to do a little more efficiently." Author Veronica Roth said about the script of the film, "Reading a script is a really interesting experience. I never read a script before. I was really impressed by how closely it stuck to the general plotline of the book." Initially, the budget of the film was $40 million, but Lionsgate later increased it $80 million, which then changed to $85 million due to the success of the Hunger Games. Analyst Ben Mowgli said, "Divergent is more similar to Hunger Games, that the company owns the underlying economics, i.e. production, and the budget is more manageable." And now on to casting. On October 22, 2012, it was announced that Shailene Woodley landed the role of Beatrice Tris Pryor. Lucas Till, Jack Rayner, Jeremy Irvine, Alex Pettifer, Brenton Thwaites, Alexander Ludwig, and Luke Bracey were all considered for Lord Tobias for Eden. On March 15, 2013, it was announced that Theo James had been cast as Four. Though James was 10 years older than the character when cast, Roth praised his casting. "I was sure within seconds that this was Four, no question. Theo was able to capture Four's authority and strength, as well as his depth and sensitivity." She also mentions the chemistry between him and Shailene. "He is the perfect match for Shailene's incredibly strong presence as Tris. I'm thrilled." The producer said about his casting, "We took our time to find the right actor to fill the role of Four, and Theo was definitely the perfect fit. Veronica described it a truly iconic character in Four, and we cannot wait to begin production and bring him and this story to life for millions of fans around the world." On March 11, 2013, it was announced that the roles of Tori, Christine, and Caleb had gone to Maggie Q, Zoe Kravitz, and Ansel Elgort, respectively. Ray Stevenson, Drake Courtney, and Aaron Eckhart were announced to be in talks to join the cast on March 15, 2013. Stevenson and Courtney joined the cast as Marcus Eden and Eric. The same day, Miles Teller was cast as Peter. Kate Winslet was announced to be in talks on January 24, 2013. Later, it was confirmed that she would portray Janine Matthews. Talking about playing the negative character for the first time, Winslet said, "I'm no idiot. The idea went through my head that I've never played a baddie before. I was almost kind of surprised." Since Winslet joined filming late, she used that distance from her co-stars to appear aloof on the first day of her shoot. "I wanted to break it and say, 'It's okay, I'm really fun, I promise.' But I thought, just for today, let them think that I'm a complete bitch." Winslet was 5 months pregnant during the shooting of the film, and her pregnancy was concealed using various props. According to Berger, "We had to be very strategic in the way we shot her. She always had some sort of file or case in her hand that was sort of protecting, her bump." On March 25, 2013, Ben Lamb was cast as Edward, Ben Lloyd-Hughes as Will, and Christina Madsen as Al. In April 2013, Ashley Judd and Tony Goldwyn were cast as Natalie and Andrew Pryor, Beatrice's parents. And now on to the filming. Filming began in Chicago on April 6, 2013, and concluded on July 16, 2013. Virtually all production photography took place in Chicago. Many interior locations were filmed at CineSpace Chicago Film Studios. Scenes for the choosing ceremony were shot at 17th Church of Christ, Scientist on East Wacker, downtown Chicago, with outdoor shots taken at Pioneer Court. Filming also took place at the Navy Pier or Ferris wheel. The entire area was treated with dirt and rust to appear more dystopian. Additional scenes were shot at 57th Street and Ellis Avenue near the University of Chicago, and Federal Street where fake L tracks were constructed, and at Michigan Avenue. Scenes were also filmed at the University of Chicago's Joe Enrica Mansueto Library. For the abnegation sector, the production team constructed the set on Wells Street in downtown Chicago. In late June, filming took place at 1500 South Western Avenue and 600 South Wells Street, Chicago. In the last schedule, filming moved to the Chicago River and continued at Lake Street Bridge, Wacker Drive, and LaSalle Street Bridge. Film wrapped on July 16, 2013. On January 24, 2014, additional filming began in Los Angeles, finishing 2 days later, which officially became the last day of shooting. And now finally onto the post-production. Post-production work began after filming wrapped. On July 18th, Summit Lionsgate issued a joint statement announcing the film will be released in IMAX format. We're delighted to continue our successful collaboration with IMAX, with whom we have already partnered on the global blockbuster Hunger Games and Twilight Saga franchises. And we're especially pleased that we can introduce our newest young adult franchise, Divergent, to the movie-going public in the premium IMAX format that celebrates its status as a special and memorable event. So overall, I think this movie is pretty darn good, and I like the fact that, just like in the book, it establishes everything we need to know about the world and the universe and sort of leads into what's going to happen in the next film. So yeah. So overall, I give Divergent, the movie Divergent, 4 Dallas Fires out of 5. Well, anyway, tune in a little bit later today as we take a look at the follow-up series, the Divergent series, Insurgent. So, until then, see you, everybody.